James Kaufman, World News Report today. Today is July 9th, 2023, 5:30 p.m. Central here in the U.S. God bless you and yours no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Ladies and gentlemen, we have all the mainstream media coming out talking about Northern Lights hitting on July 13th, including Google AP and lots of big names. From Earth.com, Northern Lights may be visible in 17 states next week. How would they possibly forecast it this far in advance? This article came out 2 days ago, like so many other ones, forecasting the same event on July 13th. For those who dream of witnessing the Northern Lights, an opportunity could present itself next week. The Aurora Borealis is expected to be visible over at least 17 states on Thursday, July 13th. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a look at NOAA's Goddard-Iskwa spiral, and we'll show y'all what they're talking about. But they made this forecast 6 or 7 days in advance of the event, and we all know that solar winds and plasma don't move at those slow of speeds. The states that could potentially get a glimpse of this rare spectacular include Alaska, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Maine, Maryland, New York, New Hampshire, Washington, Vermont, Idaho, Massachusetts, Wyoming, and Indiana. Now, last time they predicted Northern Lights, it went much further south. What causes Northern Lights? The Northern Lights, one of nature's most awe-inspiring phenomena, are caused by the interaction between the sun's solar winds and plasma and Earth's magnetic field. Quote, aurora is the name given to the glow or light produced when electrons from space flow down Earth's magnetic field and collide with atoms and molecules of the upper atmosphere in a ring or oval centered on the magnetic poles of Earth, explains the NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center. This collision results in the emission of light, an effect similar to how neon lights operate. The collision produces light much like how electrons flowing through gas in a neon light collide with neon and other gases to produce different colored light bulbs. Recent forecasts from the University of Alaska Fairbanks Geophysical Institute suggest a surge in auroral activity on the night of July 13th, with the possibility of this captivating light show becoming visible in several parts of Canada and the United States. The prediction indicates that the Northern Lights could illuminate the night skies in the northern region of at least 17 U.S. states, provided the weather conditions remain favorable. How did they predict this 7 or 8 days in advance, and why is mainstream media covering it when we all know that plasma and solar winds move much faster than this would allow for? Your guess would be as good as mine. According to NOAA, quote, auroral activity will be high, weather permitting. Highly active auroral displays will be visible overhead, reports the UAF Institute. For those fortunate enough to be in these regions, the ideal window for viewing the Aurora Borealis is between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. local time, according to Space Weather Prediction Center. Enthusiasts are advised to move away from the city lights to enjoy a clearer and brighter view of the Northern Lights, which are in fact radiation. The brightness and visibility of the aurora significantly depends on the level of geomagnetic activity. As the anticipated date draws closer, NOAA will be closely monitoring the activity and will release its own forecast to aid potential viewers. Notably, the last major Northern Lights event in the U.S. occurred during a geomagnetic storm in April, when the lights were visible across 30 U.S. states, including parts of Iowa, North Dakota, and Kansas. Next week's event could offer another rare opportunity to witness this celestial fantasy. Let's take a look at that celestial fantasy and try to figure out how they're predicting this stuff 8 and 9 days in advance. Now everyone can see this plasma that impacts Earth, the little yellow dot here, on the 13th. It doesn't seem to come from some CME anywhere. It's on the slow spiral. This is a CME that shoots out this direction. You can see it here, not a very strong one. We have stereo ahead here in red, stereo behind here. We have Parker SP here. This is actually Venus. You can see under Mercury they're hiding Bepi and Solo, so they have a great picture of the backside of the sun. But how, in fact, do they keep predicting these solar events 8, 9, 10, even 11 days in advance when we all know that solar winds and plasma move upwards of 500 kilometers per second, and just 1 kilometer per second is 2,200 miles an hour. Plus, with the sun being 93 million miles an hour, doing some simple math, we can see that any explosion of solar winds or plasma should reach Earth in less than 72 hours, even if it was the slowest moving solar winds and plasma that we've seen. God bless you and yours. Please leave your comments below, share and subscribe, and remember, July 13th, something is going to hit Earth, i.e. mainstream has picked this up. Always remember, anything's possible in Bizarro World.